This is a topic that I'm about, over 2 years late on, but I'm okay with that because I like my opinion being voiced. And that topic is Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and his character arc, which I think is actually a beautiful arc. Nice voice crack. A beautiful arc, but if you know the majority of the Star Wars fans, you'll know that their opinion is that Ryan Johnson butchered Luke Skywalker's character in The Last Jedi and everything he stood for in the original trilogy. And maybe some of what they say is true, but overall, I think what was done with Luke in The Last Jedi is actually extremely beautiful, and I'll explain why. So, in The Last Jedi, at the beginning, very beginning, after all the space battle and stuff with the bombing and all that, Poe leading the battalion, it cuts to the island where we cut off at The Force Awakens. Rey holding up the lightsaber to Luke, and she hands it to him, and everybody completely hates this scene. I know everybody hates this scene, but Luke looks at the lightsaber for a few seconds and then throws it behind him, completely disregarding the history behind the lightsaber and all of that. Now, I want you to tell me, if you were a man who, after, sure, defeating an empire, saving your own father from the dark, blah, 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 all the heroic things he did, after all of that, and then starting a new Jedi Order, training some kids, and then failing them. Because you have to remember, Luke was not just training Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, whatever, he was training a whole new generation of Jedi. And he failed one of them terribly. He failed Ben Solo terribly to have Ben Solo kill the rest of the Jedi that he was training. Do you think if that was you, that you would be okay? That even if you were a hero who did heroic things, that you would stay the same after that? After witnessing basically in a way your children dying to one of your other children? I don't think you would be okay. I don't think you would be the same person you were beforehand. That is devastating beyond words. So it's jarring to me that people think at this point in time, based on the events, his order being killed and all that by Ben, that he should be the Luke that we left in Return of the Jedi, all hopeful and full of glee and, this powerful Master Jedi. No. Why would he be? That sounds extremely contradicting to the events. Could you imagine Rey coming to the island and Luke just being this positive guy? Why would he be on the island in the first place? Why would he be hiding? If the movie started with Luke being all positive, then the entire point of him being on the island would just be useless. Then The Force Awakens, him being gone, having hidden himself and everything, is just useless. So no, I think him being a grumpy old man who wants nothing to do with the Force, as we learn, he has actually cut himself off from the Force because he doesn't think he deserves it anymore, and he thinks that the Jedi need to die off, makes total sense. Is he right? That's for you to kind of decide, and I think by the end, really the answer is no. From Ryan's own point of view, the answer is no. He was wrong. And he even actually says this in The Rise of Skywalker, but staying within the boundaries of The Last Jedi, he ends up helping in the end. What does he say to Rey at the beginning? When he goes into the hut and stuff, I don't know, wherever, on the island, he says, "What did you think was going to happen? Did you think I was going to walk out in front of the First Order or in front of an entire army with a laser sword?" What does he do by the end of the movie? Just that. Maybe through a holographic force projection, but he does that. He contradicts his own statement by the end of the movie. His arc completes. Grumpy old man who thought everything was lost and who thought the Jedi should end has now helped the Resistance and passed on the legacy of the Jedi to Rey. That arc makes complete sense and is beautiful. And he tries to talk to Ben, to kind of stop Ben, try to talk to him a little bit. Ben wants nothing to do with it. I think, I really do, that everything that was done with Luke in The Last Jedi was beautiful, based on the past events. And that's really all I have to say about it. I kind of get tired of hearing that, oh, Ryan Johnson ruined Luke. That isn't Luke. Even Mark Hamill himself, the actor for Luke Skywalker, thinks that Luke was butchered in The Last Jedi, which, you might say, oh, well, even the actor thinks that, oh, he was butchered. That doesn't mean that he's right. And I'm not saying that I'm correct either, but that's just how I see his arc, and I think it was done pretty well. And that movie does have a lot of bullshit, but in the list of bullshit, Luke's arc and Luke's character is not on my list of bullshit from that movie. So yeah, that's all.